Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Save SA Wine live stream. Today is Saturday, the 26th of October. Well, there I just I went a month into the future. That is Saturday, 26th of September, and we are here to celebrate South African wines to support the South African wine industry. We are live streaming on YouTube, on Twitter via Periscope, and also, of course, on Facebook. And we're live streaming on About the Wineland's Facebook page, the Save SA Wine Facebook group. So if you can come and like us or share these streams, it'd be fantastic. Use these hashtags. Use the hashtag 1660. Use the hashtag Save SA Wine. And please use the hashtag Drink South African. The first order of business today is the hashtag 1660, which means we are celebrating our producers in the winelands. We are featuring one producer a day for 60 days. We started on the 30th of August and we're continuing right through to the 28th of October. And it would be great if you guys could support these producers, share their um, uh, posts, share the things we post about them, but also if you can support their wine, it will be fantastic. So our featured producer of the day is Raats Family Wines, and they only say two things when you think about Raats Family Wines. That's Cabernet Franc and Chenin Blanc. And since 2000, the founder, Bruwer Raats, has kept his focus on these two varieties, and he believed that specializing would lead to success. So his focus and belief was not unfounded, and Raats Family Wines is regarded as a leader of South Africa's Chenin Blanc and Cabernet Franc, and they've received consistent local and excuse me. Let me just have a sip of my coffee. I'm not drinking wine yet, but it's almost time. Um, they're receiving consistent international and local awards, and it's a fantastic winery. Just hold on a second here. Excuse me, I just had to get this frog out of my throat. Um, Gavin Bruwer joining Raats in 2010, and now they still have one shared family mission, and that's to consistently produce Chenin Blanc and Cabernet Franc um, with outstanding quality. Uh, Raats Family Wines is based in the winemaking capital of Stellenbosch, and you can actually get them in the US by from Cape Ardor or Cape Classics. They are available there. And to find out where else you can get Raats and to order locally, just go to raats.co.za. That is Raats, raats.co.za, and learn more about this producer, and please support them. Um, our quote of the day is that wine is a hug in a glass. And if you're a winelands business, well, firstly, if you're a wine consumer and you're close to the winelands, today is the perfect day to get into your car and drive out to the winelands, and go enjoy some of the fantastic wines and also some of the fantastic winelands experiences in the Cape Winelands. If you're not close to the winelands, just as a matter of interest, South Africa has the longest wine route in the world, stretching all the way from the Eastern Cape right into the Western Cape. And there's so many experiences that you can do. And we also have two wineries in KwaZulu Natal, actually three: Highgate, Abingdon Wines, and Guardian Peak. So you can go support them as well. If you're not close to any of the wine areas, just go buy a bottle of South African wine at your local. Well, you can't buy today, right? But you can open one that you've bought in the week. If you are really desperate and you want to support, just go online and support from one of your online shops. And most wineries are now going direct to consumer. We'll talk about that in a future video. But most wines can now be purchased and be delivered straight to your door. So if you're a winelands business and you want more exposure for your wine, your restaurant, your accommodation, your winelands experience, then consider using one of our About the Winelands premium service offerings. We do realize that times are tough, and we are giving a helping hand to you to help you promote your winelands business here in the summertime. And it's part of our summer campaign. And all you need to do is go to our website, aboutthewinelands.com, fill in your details, and we'll send you a 500 Rand gift card to use in your online shop. So that's it. Go to aboutthewinelands.com, and we'll send you a 500 Rand gift card when you enter your details to use in your online shop, and this will help you promote your business. It's a digital store where you can purchase a promotional item for your winelands business. And our invitation stands. If you have any ideas or promotions or special offers, please contact us at visitthewinelands@gmail.com. And we really need to work on saving the winelands together. Unfortunately, we had some technical problems with our podcast last night. Our featured podcast was an interview with Lucas Wenzel, the winemaker at Grootepost, and I'm going to rebroadcast it this morning. So it's a very interesting story. The story of how Grootepost went from a diversified farm, concentrating on dairy farming, changing direction, and are now a premium wine producer. And I'm not going to waste your time anymore. I want to say one more thing. Log in tonight at 7 o'clock for our evening show. It's going to be quite a few exciting things happening. We'll also have new videos and new content during the day. So like our group, share it with your friends and family. And now listen to the interview with Lucas Wenzel, the winemaker at Grootepost in the Darling Hills of South Africa. Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we will be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, and other role players. Tune in every week for our latest episode. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. Welcome back to About the Winelands. Today I'm speaking to Lucas Wenzel. Lucas is the winemaker at Grootepost. Good morning, Lucas, and welcome to About the Winelands.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for the invite. It's really special, and thanks for choosing us.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. You know, I know everyone is extremely busy at this stage, so that's very nice of you. Lucas,
No, pleasure.
can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you became involved in the wine industry?
Yeah, I grew up in Cape Town. Everything, and then after school, I went to the army. I was still one of the guys that went to the army. And after that, I worked a little bit and then went to study agriculture. And then later on, it became winemaking at Elsenburg Agricultural College. I've finished there in 97, 98. I started working at Lamott Wine Estate as assistant to Jacques Boorman. And 2001, I started my first vintage, and I'm here since then. 19 vintages. That's me in a small package.
So you've basically been at Grootepos since the beginning, right? Since
yeah, it was. There was Adi Barnhorst was here for a small period, and also another winemaker. And then I joined, and I've never left since. They can't get rid of me.
Amazing. So tell me, Lucas, I mean, Grootepos has an interesting history as a farm, but also as a winery. Can you tell us a little bit of that history?
Yeah, it's actually a very rich agricultural history. And because of what happened in the Cape in the early 1800s, I mean, this whole area was known as or a big part of it was known as the Groene Kloof. And that was mainly to supply fresh produce to the passing ships and also to Cape Town. It was very good for vegetable farming, also for oats. And then, so it's got a rich history, because you talk about wheat farming, and you talk about the first merinos to the Cape came here. And because this was so very good for cattle, they had to put up later on, because of cattle theft, they had to put up posts to protect the farmers and against this raids. And one of them was the Grootepos, the biggest one, obviously, the Grootepos, and that's what it means, Grootepos. And I'm sitting in a old fort that was with the Pinch family in the 98 rebuilt to a winery, and that was part of the protection. So a lot of soldiers stayed here. But it's got a very rich history. The governor of Cape Town, Lord Charles Somerset, he used Grootepos as he called it, his hunting box, where he came to hunt. Not hunting box, his shooting box. And he later, and also a well-known person, Hildegard Duckett, which was one of the first real foodies of Cape Town, let me put it this way. I mean, she was way advanced for her time, the way she approached things. So yeah, it's got a rich history out of agriculture. And I think wine was always part of it, because they always would have to have a little bit of wine around to give to the soldiers and also the workers. And but if you look at the Grootepos, we only really started making wine or planting vineyards in 1993. After everything opened up, it was before that was very restricted. And 98, the winery was built. 99, the first wines was made. And like I said, since then, I mean, we started off with 3 or 4 wines. Where we are now, we've got 13, 14 wines that we put out into the market. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the history of Grootepos.
Grootepos is known as a mixed farming area with mostly wheat produced in the area. And do you guys still farm with other things, or besides wine?
Yeah, it's still something else. We're still a mixed farming setup, wheat farming. There's a meat merino. I think it's around about now with all the lamb. After lambing, it's about 3,500 head. Red and black Angus, I think it's about 250 head. I'm not always certain with that because I don't work with that, but it's a mixed farming, yeah.
That makes it very interesting for people to visit. What can you tell us a little bit more about all the things to see and do at Grootepost?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And one thing you can add to that is also where the winery is inside a game farm as well. So you can see some antelope, and also we've got 2 giraffes as well. But it's always fantastic for the people to see the sheep and and the cattle. It's got the real farm feel to it, which makes it really worthwhile to come out, and especially this time with this time of the year with the flowers as well.
What do the flowers look like this year?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I must say, I think it's going to be good because we've had good rain, and we're going to have continuous rain. It seems like. Hopefully, it goes into September, and if you get very good rain, say till in middle of September, then the flowers is just going to be beautiful. It's probably going to run into November as well.
Can you tell us a bit more about the wines that you produce, and also about your winemaking philosophy?
Yeah, it's actually interesting is when you look at the philosophy, I think overall, it's always difficult to think about one philosophy, because when you do make a lot of different wines, I think in a way there's a philosophy for everyone, every single wine that you make. But overall is my philosophy is that you need to give attention to detail in anything you do, and that starts in the vineyard, and the plantings, the vineyards, and everything you do. So yeah, we've got about 13 wines, of which the Method Cup Classique Brut Rosé has been part of this since 2003, and we are going to add another. We're going to add a Brut towards the end of the year as well. And then we've got a Pinot Noir Rosé, Chenin Blanc. We've got the 2 Old Man's White and Red, unwooded Chardonnay and a Kapok Chardonnay, Riesling, Merlot, Shiraz. And what we've added now is a slightly wooded Sauvignon Blanc called Sea Salter, and a Shiraz Cinsault blend called the Salt of the Earth that we've added to our range. So it's a little bit of an upmarket. We call it our salty range.
When and why did you start or decide to make MCC?
Yes, very interesting is that initially when we made our first bubbly, it was made of Merlot, and I had to convince. I mean, first of all, to make bubbly MCC, for that matter, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money. It's not easy. And on the other hand, I wanted our Merlot grapes was very clustered, and to produce a good Merlot, you need to open up the canopy. So that was a good opportunity to convince Peter and Nick and say to them, listen here, I'm not just only going to cut off the bunches, I'm going to use it for making bubbly. And that's how we all started in 2003 with our first bubbly. It was more for fun, just a fun, small volumes. But I was never serious, so, and then obviously people loved it, and it was a good talking point. But if you want to go serious into bubbly, you need to use your base varietals, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, that we had on the farm already. So moved into that direction, and now we're just making Merlot on its own, not using it for bubbly anymore.
Do you follow traditional methods making MCC?
Yeah, it's very traditional. No, it's very traditional, very basic, very making sure that you're, the whole process from starting, because we're sitting with fantastic grapes, small berries, and it's really nice, intense, good acid that we normally get out of the vineyards. I normally use more Chardonnay. Our blend is Chardonnay Pinot Noir. So very traditional way of looking at. I harvest at different times, but it ends up fermenting together. I make up the blend. Some parts will be separate. And then after that, we just get the wine ready for bottling as soon as we can. But very, very basic and very traditional.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and where are your MCCs mostly sold? Mostly in South Africa? Do you export as well?
MCC is mainly in South Africa. We export a slight little bit we sold to the Netherlands. I think we're moving a few bottles, and also to the UK. That is our biggest markets, but mainly South Africa.
Do you think that will change in the future? I think obviously the competition in that market from the Spanish and the Italians, you know, with Prosecco, and also of course the French with Champagne, is very stiff. So do you think the export markets will grow over time?
Obviously, that's now a big question, because that's I think a lot of work needs to be done still, and I think to understand MCC. I mean, your overseas people, I mean, it's difficult for them to, probably they don't know the name, so it's going to take a while. But then again, I think South Africans are more catching on to MCC. I think the MCC Association has done a fantastic job in educating people about MCC and in South Africa. And I think you could see it in sales. I think it's been one of the better selling wines in the last couple of years in South Africa, and the world for that. But I think still work to be done in overseas. I must say, I think people in overseas understand the other products better. But picking up from especially from the UK, there's a lot of effort going into that to buy MCC from South Africa, and people are enjoying it. So I can only see that growing, but I think our base will always be, for a certain time still, is locally.
Okay. I see September 1 is a Cup Classic Day, where you guys are using the 1st of September as spring day to also sell some of your Cup Classic wines. Do you have anything special planned as a celebration for the 1st of September?
Yeah, what we're going to do, we've got these beautiful flowers. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to have a champagne breakfast. It seems like it's going to be at this stage a nice day, open day, a lot of sun. So what we'll do is we'll have a very nice champagne breakfast in the flowers on the 1st of September, which is probably throw in a little bit of oysters as well, if we can get hold of some, which is going to be great. So we will make a nice photos and with all the flowers. So beautiful occasion. I think what we're mainly going to do is we'll do it on our own as at the winery, and just celebrate this.
Down and the whole coronavirus palaver has forced basically everyone to rethink their business models. Do you guys have any changes or new ideas in mind?
I don't think. I think one thing that has changed in definitely is the online direct sales from the farm, which is fantastic for us. I mean, it's really great. I think it makes such a huge difference. So suddenly, most of our sales go directly to the people. You know, yesterday we've done so many deliveries in the last, after the first lockdown and now the second lockdown, the orders is coming in, and I think people are